You can just stay home. We're leaving." My older brother tossed the words at me with a laugh, thinking it was just a harmless joke. Mom and my sister chimed in from the car, not a single glance in my direction. For 5 days of vacation, I was completely excluded. When I took away everything I owned in the house, the fridge, the sofa, the washing machine, and the internet accounts, they returned to an empty home, only able to point fingers at each other in panic. My brother collapsed onto the floor, my sister clutched her phone in a frenzy, and my mother slumped onto the couch, gasping for air. They finally realized that behind the joke was the me they had ignored for years. Embarrassment, regret, and helplessness filled the room, and for the first time, no one could hold me back. 3 days earlier, my younger brother stood at the doorway with a sneer. "You're still the same, always trying to steal the spotlight." "I'm just folding clothes," I replied quietly, placing the last shirt into the wardrobe. "Folding? Seriously folding? How boring," he scoffed. I looked at him once. The desk lamp cast soft shadows across the room. Photos were pinned to the walls, and notebooks and ledgers were stacked in the corner. Outside, cars hummed along the street. "Enough," I said, my voice cold as winter wind. "Wow, so cold." He took a step back, eyebrows raised. "You're always so serious, so boring." I closed my eyes, finished folding the clothes, my movements calm, though a fire had already sparked inside me. "You all think it's fine to joke around," I said slowly, "but not everyone can laugh." A snort came from outside the door. He pushed the handle. "Stop pretending. Don't forget, you're always the punchline." I didn't respond. I walked into the living room, slippers brushing the carpet. He followed, his words still barbed. "You think you're doing so much, huh? Just because you pay the bills, manage the house, that makes you better than us." I stopped, looking him in the eye. The room was quiet except for the hum of the heater. "It's not about being better," I said evenly. "It's just enough." A few days later, I woke up to an eerily quiet morning. Usually, Mom's nagging, my sister's high-pitched laughter, and my brother's complaints would fill the house, but today, there was nothing. I went downstairs and found no luggage by the door, no keys on the hook, and the driveway empty. I tried calling Mom, her number was gone. Dad, sister, and brother's numbers vanished too. Did my phone break? I muttered. No trace of family in the contacts. Then I remembered my brother had borrowed my phone the night before to check the weather. My chest tightened. I called my uncle's old number. He answered, out of breath. "Are you at home?" "Yes," I replied. There was a pause, then distant laughter. "Wait, she really doesn't know?" My uncle explained. They left that morning, thinking it was a harmless prank. I should have caught up. I stayed silent, setting the phone down. 5 days, they had completely excluded me. No messages, no warnings. I didn't cry. I didn't get angry. I calmly started organizing my things. I never thought revenge could be so simple. I packed up every item I had bought with my own money: the fridge, washing machine, dryer, sofa, microwave, even the internet and utility accounts. Each item had invoices and contracts. I packed, moved, and sealed everything meticulously. While dismantling the sofa, my brother's friend drove by. Seeing me handle it effortlessly, he exclaimed, "You're moving that yourself?" "Of course," I replied, calm and precise. As I loaded the washing machine into the truck, a neighbor peeked out. "Can you handle that alone?" "I can," I said, emotionless, finishing the task. Once everything was gone, I walked through the empty house. The cold floors reflected the light, and the shadows of my family faded with the vanished belongings. The police came later, flipping through the folder I had prepared, reviewing invoices and bank statements. "You really have been paying and recording everything," the officer said, nodding calmly. I just watched him quietly, saying nothing. Do you want me to give them your address? Let them know you're safe? No, I shook my head. They don't need to know. A few days later, Mom and Dad showed up in my office lobby, faces flushed with anger and worry. Did you really move all this because of a joke? Mom asked, panicked. You clean up your own mess first, I said, calm. Dad frowned. These are all family things. How can you? Enough, I cut him off. Learn to handle it yourselves. They froze, no words left, and left in silence. In the following weeks, I watched from afar as the house descended into chaos. The group chat was deleted, bills piled up, everything fell apart. Who's paying the electricity? Who fixed the internet? Mom's voice came through the phone unanswered. Siblings argued endlessly. The sofa, fridge, washing machine, they were used to me silently shouldering everything. Now, they were trapped in chaos. One day, a neighbor called, "Your house is empty." I saw them, they're clueless. I chuckled and hung up. Weeks later, they tried to find me. I opened the door and watched them arrive, fake smiles, snacks in hand, trying to talk about past jokes and misunderstandings. You can come in, but only to listen. No interference, I said. They sat in the living room, attempting to reconstruct the warmth of family. We just want to fix things, my sister said. What's left is an empty shell, I said, staring at them. If you want to repair it, you have to learn to take responsibility yourselves. Their smiles froze. Arguments died in their throats. I watched the panic rise in their eyes. Every small detail reminded them they had lost control. We just want you back, my brother stammered. Back? When have I ever needed you to define my life? I said coldly. Mom's lips trembled. But it's still family. Family? You never treated me as part of it, I said, locking eyes with them. I was just the pillar holding your lives together. You never noticed. Dad fell silent, stunned. Months later, the family completely fractured. Siblings moved out. Parents sold the house, living scattered across cities. I sat on my new apartment balcony, sipping tea, night air brushing past. Finally free, I whispered. Revenge didn't need shouting. It was precise, methodical, silent. Every move, every terminated bill, was a response to years of being pushed around. I was no longer the punchline, no longer the default caretaker. The world outside was cold and quiet, and for the first time, I belonged to myself.